What a confusing time it is to be alive, I must say. Well, the prices of eggs and groceries are still up, and we're even seeing the Gulf of Mexico being named the Gulf of America. Who should we be blaming for that? Now, as much as this video is not a drama, it's all about the serious implications of F around and find out. So if you have been seeing those trends on the internet, this is kind of like karma. This is what it looks like. So get your popcorns and settle in as we begin this conversation about why people are not so happy about their voting decision. They thought that 2025 was going to be a bright year, like the future seems bright. But is it though? Is it? Leave your thoughts in the comments as we get started with this video, and if you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe.
Please don't scroll. I've got a moral compass and a soul. At the new property, I need some landscaping work, so I got a couple bids. They quoted me between 50 and 150 bucks. And then I looked into their companies on social media and found out that the owners were Trump supporters. So I said no. I'm in predominantly a black neighborhood, and everyone here has been so welcoming, and there's Harris wall signs as far as the eye can see. And one of my neighbors does landscaping. He also gave me a bid, and he said 100 bucks. And I said, you know what? I see that Harris wall sign over there. I'm going to pay you 300. Boycott all MAGA, no matter how big or small, and support those that showed that they voted with conscience, that have a moral compass and a soul. This black man, this small business owner, this Harris supporter, knew that I was a Harris supporter, offered me a discount because I have a moral compass and a soul. I gave him an increase instead.
It's getting weird in DC right now. The camouflage boots, they're everywhere. The Cybertrucks are multiplying. I knew I spotted some out-of-towners because there was a middle-aged woman sitting on her own suitcase yelling at her husband. I saw another man with dirt all over his boots knocking on the window of my apartment building, yelling at his friends to let him in. Something tells me Decades is gonna be busy tonight. I also overheard someone complaining about how my favorite place uses a QR code to let you order instead of a waiter. It's getting spooky. And because these people aren't used to being in a city, they make their presence so known. They think they're the only ones existing. They don't understand that when they're walking with their entire family, 6 people across on the sidewalk, that it takes up too much space and no one can get by. We see you, out-of-towners.
I want an arena for folks, but nobody's going to be outside now. What's your reaction to that?
So we're not going to get to see it in person then. Is that correct?
That's right.
Well, I don't like it. I mean, we came all the way from Washington, from Oklahoma, and now we're not going to get to see it. We might as well stay home and watch it on TV.
It sucks. Let me rephrase that. It's not good.
Yeah, it's actually something that we've been looking forward to for historical purposes, and being a part of it, that's once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
We made all the plans, all the arrangements to come up and be a part of this event. And all of a sudden to hear that it's being moved indoors,
we're prepared for the weather. It's not a problem.
It's kind of like a bummer.
It is, yeah.
Cold ain't gonna hurt nobody. And we have farms, and we don't get to not feed the cows because it's cold.
Mr. Trump, I ask you as a supporter and a voter, how in the hell is having Canada and Greenland and renaming the Gulf of America going to save me money on my grocery bill and my taxes?
Gulf of America. Yeah, that's where we're at. The Gulf of America. It's not the Gulf of Mexico. Not the same thing it's been called for the last several hundred years. No, apparently we own it. And so why don't we get to name it? Look, Mr. President, we own the first 12 nautical miles. It's hundreds of miles across the Gulf, no matter which way you measure it. Most of that stuff is not ours. And if you were any other person, any other politician, I would absolutely not believe that you didn't know that. But having had you as president before, oh my goodness, have we gotten to know you? And it might just be true. you just might be that dumb. And I think this is why you want so badly for us to do things like get rid of the Department of Education. Because if we stop learning, maybe more of us will believe your bullshit. It is ridiculous that you got reelected after having done such a piss poor job of running the country for 4 years. We have never been in this situation before, where we had literally a criminal who was in the midst of being sentenced. Between being convicted and being sentenced, we voted for this leader to be our new leader. I don't get it. He is so that he doesn't understand how big the ocean is. He just said today publicly in a press conference that the 625 million square acres of water that Biden blocked off from being drilled for oil was pretty much all of the ocean. He has no clue that there are literally a couple 100 billion acres of ocean. He just doesn't know. He is that uneducated. He is that he just lets things come into his mind and says them. And now we get to deal with, I might send troops into Panama. I might send troops into Greenland. And we're in talks to take over Canada as the 51st state. Dude, do you have any idea how big Canada is? Bro, he just doesn't know.
To all the evangelical Christians out there, I'm talking to you. This choice that you've just made, like every choice, this choice has consequences. And I'm not sure you've fully thought through what those consequences are going to be. You can't claim to have values. You can't claim to have moral superiority. You can't really claim to have any affiliation with God when you make the choice that you just made. I've heard a lot of people in the church say things like, well, I'm not choosing him, I'm choosing what he's going to do. Here's the thing. You don't get to separate the two. And this isn't the first time you've made this choice. The first time, you could write it off. You could say, it was a mistake. This time, you know full well what you're doing. You've chosen money over morality. You've chosen to profit over people. So now, we all see what you love. We all see who you love. And one thing is very clear. It's not God. So when your pious foothold on faith is eroded and people start to leave and they see you for what you are, I just want you to know this is the choice that made that happen.
So you think you're better than me just because I voted for Trump and you didn't? Yeah, I do. I think I am better than you in every way that there is to be. I think I'm smarter than you. I think I'm more empathetic than you. I think I can make judgment calls better than you. I think I can not only do research better than you, I can interpret that research better than you. I think I'm far less likely than you are to be tricked by a Nigerian trying to send me money. The most obvious con man came out and started conning people, and you fell for the con immediately. You didn't even check the depth of the pool before you jumped in. You were just cannonballs away. And now as we go through the next 4 years of whatever the this is, and the prices of gas doesn't go down and the price of eggs doesn't go down, and you start losing your house and your job isn't doing so well and you can't figure out why, well, and because you lack the ability to connect action with reaction, you have no idea why the economy looks the way it does and why it's going to look the way it's going to look in 4 years. Because we tried to tell you and you didn't listen because you think you're smarter than everyone else, but you're not. And it does not matter what metric you try to measure the two of us up against. I will always be better than you because I did not vote for it and you did. And you can never undo that.
Besides financial, what were you scared about the last 4 years? Because what we're scared about is not the same. Here's the difference. What you were scared of isn't actually happening. You were scared of kids being taught gender in elementary school. That's not happening. You're scared of men going into women's restrooms. That's not happening. You're scared of men taking over women's sports. That's not happening. The Olympics banned that. You're scared that illegal immigrants are coming here to us when there has been literal zero evidence other than a few bad people of that happening. They commit less than 1% of crime in the United States, and the crime rate is the lowest it's ever been. There's actual evidence that these things are not taking place, but they know you will believe it. That is called fear-mongering, and it is used to brainwash people. You want to know what we're scared of? We're scared of the fact that women have, because of the bans that were put in place. Women who wanted to be mothers have died. We're scared that you just handed the United States to the most powerful billionaires in the country with a Republican Senate and House, that they can do whatever the hell they want to with us. And you have no idea what you just did. You literally just handed the country to billionaires who do not give a shit about you and have not one policy in place that's going to make your life better. And if you read the policies before you voted, you would know that. Because while we were all scared and are still scared about money and rent and grocery prices, most of us people who understand how the economy works know who to blame for that. You do not blame a presidential administration for the way prices have been the last 4 years. You don't blame Biden, and you wouldn't blame Trump either, because neither one of them are in control of that. So while yes, being scared about prices is incredibly valid because we all were, it's important to blame the right people, because that's the only way to fix this. And the only way to fix this is to stop corporations. So you have to understand, read my lips, the President of the United States, and no administration, left or right, sets food prices or rent prices. What you're scared of is valid, and we all feel that way, but you're blaming the wrong person because of lack of education on the economy. So no, we are not scared about the same things. You were scared about things you were being actively lied to that you could have just researched and found out it wasn't true. And we're scared about things that are actually happening that you said, oh, it's just fear mongering, don't worry about it. Tell those to the women who have, tell that to people who are paying taxes into this country, waiting on their citizenship paperwork, but they're still technically undocumented, so they're going to get ripped away from their families. Tell that to parents who have teenagers who are transgender, who can no longer get the help that they need. You are scared about false narratives. We're scared about things that are actively happening in real time. It is not the same. But congratulations for voting for higher taxes for yourself and anyone who makes under $400,000. And thank you for raising the prices of groceries and the cost of goods, because you also voted for tariffs that we will have to pay for. Hope you enjoy it.
A woman come up to me today and she goes, I'm really starting to regret my vote. I really am. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, somebody has seen the light. They've realized all of the things that they voted for and how awful they are. And, you know, she's really feeling, you know, the weight of her mistake. Lord help me. She goes, and actually, you know what, first of all, I'm standing there like this. Be honest, does it look like I want to hear your whole life story? Because I thought I was doing it right. I thought I looked like, please don't talk to me. Not interested. Whatever you've got to sell, I don't want it. But apparently I look like, oh my gosh, tell me all about it. Where'd your mama go to school? I don't care. Why do these people talk to me? Anyway, listen. She goes, have you heard of RFK Jr.? I was like, yeah, I know who the man is. What about him? She goes, well, I heard that he wants to take away Ozempic. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, is this woman really about to tell me that she regrets voting for him because she is mad that she won't be able to get her Ozempic anymore? For real? And she goes, yeah, I just, you know, the only reason that I've been able to get this skinny is because I was able to get on Ozempic. And I'm like, okay, all right. I think I've reached my limit. Anyway, she goes, yeah, no, I don't know. You know, maybe next he'll go after like our Mountain Dew or our Diet Coke. And I don't know what I'll do if I can't have one of those. I said, Ma'am, I'm really happy for you that you found something to help you lose the weight that you wanted to lose and that you feel good about yourself. But let me tell you why I just don't care. I just don't care. I said, I'm concerned about my friends and the people in this country who don't look like you or I. I'm concerned about me and the women in my life and in this country who are concerned that they might lose the rights to their own body and making choices for themselves. I'm concerned about my gay friends and my trans friends. I'm concerned about a list of things that you don't even understand. I'm concerned about real life issues. I'm concerned about people losing health insurance. I'm not concerned about whether or not you get to continue to lose weight or whether or not you get to have your Diet Mountain Dew or Diet Coke every day. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, so as you can tell from those videos, this isn't funny. MAGA. Now, I just want to say that there is one man in this video that just made me realize that people are just short of words and some are just reacting out of emotions. Yes, I know that it hurts, but that man was like, we've had you as president before and we have gotten to know you. This is kind of like a relationship dynamic that is just so hard to grasp. You know, like, it's the time where billionaires are going to become multi-billionaires, even like times 2 or 3. So if you're not doing very well financially, this season is kind of like gonna get a little bit hard, or at least that's what these videos are trying to imply. But that sister in the other video that we saw kind of like convinced me that it's not any politician's fault that we're seeing any of these things happen. Well, if we bring Elon Musk into the mix, it's kind of like a corporation owner, I guess. So it's kind of his, I wouldn't say it's his fault because he doesn't sell groceries. He deals with Cybertrucks and all this. But any millionaire, any billionaire out there that just has their hand in groceries or any markets that deal with food items and also rent, you know, this video is especially for them. Like, these are the people that should be answerable for some of these things that are happening. But at the same time, it's kind of like concerning. Because recently we did see the Trump train and that bishop. My goodness. Oh my God. I think we're going to do a video about that. But today's video is all about people's mixed feelings about voting for the Trump train and ending up regretting. Like, most MAGA supporters that I've seen online just regret that they casted that vote there. So are you somebody that casted your vote in favor of the Trump train? And if you did, what are your feelings currently? Oh my God. And I know that it's not funny, but who heard when that man was talking about how, I'm going to use the word, how it's not right for a political leader to suggest that we should get rid of the Department of Education because he wants to dumb down people, right? Like, I don't know what that man was thinking, but I'm kind of like getting, what if he just wants, or what if they just want people to stop reasoning properly? You know, like, okay, what's the purpose of education again? I used to think that it made people reason better because people say that when somebody is educated and they are having a conversation with somebody that's not, there's a difference, right? There's some level of conviction to somebody that has been to a school, somebody that has got some level of education compared to somebody that doesn't. Like, have you noticed how it's hard for you to debate with somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about, but what they're saying sounds like it's true? Like, they've just created this illusion, you know, like what they're saying is true even though it's not. So people that are not educated kind of like think that way, and they're very easy to convince, especially if they love somebody. And when you bring religion into the mix, like evangelical Christians, you're gonna get mind blown, you know. So is this a recipe for disaster or a recipe for being brainwashed or brainwashing? I don't know. But leave your thoughts in the comments as always. Let me know what you think. Like, what's going on here? And what's up with Elon Musk throwing those smushy signs? Those gestures that he did with his hands. We're going to do that in another video. And if you like us to do that, leave your thoughts in the comments. But I think that's the video that we should talk about. Like, Elon Musk, come on. We all know his tweets. We all know what they are all about. You know, it's just kind of concerning. Like, I know I'm not there, but this is kind of concerning for everybody that is there, that voted for the Trump train thinking that things were going to be different, and this ended up happening. FAFO. Yeah, FAFO season. So in conclusion, the prices of eggs and groceries are still up, including rent. And Gulf of Mexico is now Gulf of America. And I kind of like found it funny. Like, it's just humorous that the president of Mexico decided to rename America as America Mexico, or is it Mexico America? Like, he's trying to like add humor to this whole situation. Ah, my goodness, my God. Like, I remember back then in 2024 when Donald Trump gave a statement that once he's back in office, he's gonna bring some sort of balance to the world. So is this what we're seeing? Is this his way of making a statement by doing all this? But at the end of the day, I think we should make these discussions respectful as well as compassionate, because at the end of the day, we are all humans, and whatever is being involved in this foray is human concerning. I hope you get me, and I hope you feel me. So whatever you're doing out there, just keep the conversation and the approach respectful and continue doing you. At the end of the day, any politician is just a human being. And if you have a friend that doesn't treat you right, I guess you distance yourself from them. So let's do that if you feel that way. But with that being said, we've come to the end of our discussion. Enlighten me in the comment section if you haven't already. And please make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also like. I will see you in the next exciting segment on our channel. Signing off and take care.